Welcome to We Are Soccer, the show that talks about pro soccer, youth soccer, and everything in between. I'm Craig Hearn. All right, let's jump in. We got a lot to talk about tonight. All right, right off the bat, we're going to have some new studio changes. Back here, this is going to change next week, so be sure to tune in next week because it's going to look a lot different. Got some cool things planned. What happened this past weekend and past week in soccer, you ask? Well, Erling Haaland comes to the rescue for Manchester City. He could be the greatest striker in Premiership history. And we're only 4 games in! I know, we'll talk about it. We'll see where that's going. We've also got Livonia City FC went to the Upper Peninsula and played in the Mackinac Cup against Upper Peninsula FC and won 3-0. Michigan Soccer Network with John and Steve on the call there. They did a great job. Awesome soccer to see from the state of Michigan. Manchester United get a little bit lucky. There was a handball no call that saved them as they won 1-0 against Southampton. I'm sure we'll have a little bit of a debate there. I've already had some arguments online. Man United fans, you're going to want to tune in and enjoy that. Villa yet to find their identity under Gerrard. Lose today 1-0 to West Ham. I'm not happy. I may cry during this broadcast. Keep watching and we'll see what happens. Right now, why don't we welcome the boys from the kids' table. Nate, Brooks, how are you boys doing? How has the weekend been? Brooks, why don't we start with you, my friends?
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's good. It's a little soccer today, a little scouting, and and I had a wedding on Saturday night for a friend that I met at MSU.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it was a good time, and out in Ann Arbor at Weber's, so nice, little good time, and it's been good.
You had a Michigan State friend get married in Ann Arbor.
Well, no, it's sadly in Livonia, and then the reception was at Weber's in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
So I know
right.
it's
all right. No worries. Well, congrats to them. Nate, it's been a bit of a rough weekend for you. It's also an anniversary weekend, so congratulations to you and your wife.
Yes,
well done.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Other than that, straight up fuck my life. I mean, just
that good.
Yep. I mean, you just go ahead and pick like something that could go wrong. Just randomly call something out, and I guarantee that it happened either Saturday or Sunday. Yeah.
Trust me, I know the feeling.
Yep.
I know the feeling. We do want to ask, how is your daughter? I know she got a little bit of a...
Which one? Because...
Well, the one that actually hit her head, right?
One was sent to the hospital on Saturday because her neck actually got so... The golf ball size thing on the neck got so big that, we had to send her there to see what was going on. Turned out she had a severe reaction to mono. So sit closer, Brooks, and let's make out. But so that's the oldest one. Missed the tournament that she played in, and unfortunately, depends on where you want to sit on the table. Her team just went undefeated at that tournament that she was not there for.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's
interesting. Okay,
then,
and how's the other one?
The other one, well, the other one's got a head split in the back of her head that I got on the way back from one of my tournament games, because that was this weekend as well. It's like a great weekend for everything. Apparently her Reed, my son, her brother, I don't know, was hugging her too much and slammed her head into something.
Kids will be kids, and trust me, I get it. My kids have done the same.
Split, but she's all in all, everyone's alive.
Brooks has no kids or is married, so there you go.
Brooks.
Lucky you, Brooks. Lucky you. All right, well, boys, this is a little bit of a distraction for you guys, a little bit of a distraction for me, and a little bit of a distraction for our viewers. Let's jump in and talk about some soccer. Before we talk about actual soccer that's being played this weekend, I want to talk about the new hit show that debuted this week. Welcome to Wrexham. Brooks, I know you haven't caught up on that yet. Nate, have you been able to watch Welcome to Wrexham?
I watched part of the first episode before I fell.
Did you fall asleep? All right. Well, this is.
Hold on. No. But it was good. It wasn't the episode's fault. I thought it was pretty good. It's my cup of tea so far. Where behind the scenes type documentary type feel it's kind of like the We Are Sunderland type stuff, which I thoroughly enjoy.
That's a good one.
So far, I'm liking it a hell of a lot more than that shit show that is Ted Lasso.
We will get to that because, as you can tell, some of us are Ted Lasso fans. We will get to that, but let's first talk about Welcome to Wrexham.
Mustache. Come on.
Don't give a shit.
Welcome to Wrexham. One of the things that really that struck me was that Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds actually didn't know each other before. Yeah, that was very. I don't think any of us, or I don't think very many people in the world knew that. And all of a sudden, they teamed up. Rob McElhenney's decision or idea to buy a club, and he realized, well, this is a lot of money and a lot of effort, so I'm going to need some help. And I don't know how he picked Ryan Reynolds.
Well, he runs through it. He needed someone who
has a lot of money.
Got TV money, so he needed someone with movie money and maybe alcohol money,
and cybersecurity, it was absolutely brilliant the way he ran through it. But there's a lot of movie stars he could have reached out to, but he picked Ryan Reynolds, and what a cool partnership those two are forming. And yeah, sure, they went ahead. Some of the things I love the behind the scenes stuff. Some of the stuff like when they're on the Zoom calls, like. Rob's computers is held up by like 4 books, and then they cut, and Ryan Reynolds' computer is held up by a cardboard box. These guys are worth millions of dollars, and their computers are being held up in a Zoom call by some books and a cardboard box. It just goes to show they are straight.
They're just as normal as you and I.
Just normal, straight human being dudes like us.
Maybe Blake Lively wanted that. You know,
maybe
she's like, just put the cardboard box.
Yeah.
You know?
I did read something that he explained to his wife. Hey, we got something we got to talk about, Blake. Someone may have slid into my DMs again, and they may have convinced me to buy a soccer team.
But she wasn't happy about it.
She was not, because it's something else that he's going to be in business with, and something that's going to take away his time.
Oh, man.
And as all married men know, another project to take away your time takes away family time, and that's the way it goes. Anyway, back on point. I watched the first 2 episodes. I really loved it. I got my son, who's 9 years old, involved. He loved watching it as well. There's a few F-bombs, a few other swear words, but other than that, nothing my kid hasn't heard at home today.
Say at home. Yeah.
Nothing I don't say. I'm a parent who says, do as I say, not as I do, or as I say, and he knows that.
There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, it's time for this is adult language, you know.
Yeah, and I told him, and he was all good. But my son loved it. We watched the first 2 episodes. Absolutely, I cannot wait for the next episode to come out. I'm also on the bandwagon of the All or Nothing Arsenal. I've only watched the first episode there.
Arsenal's this year?
Arsenal's this year, yeah.
I gotta go into Prime and log on to that one.
Yeah,
I love that All or Nothing.
Yeah, they do a really good job. Yeah. A lot of people don't like Arsenal. They don't like it, but it gives a really good behind the scenes of last year with the way they poorly started out and Aubameyang. And again, I'm only 1 episode in, and I think the whole season might be completed yet now.
Honestly, it's not even if you're a fan of the club or not. It's, I go into the We Are Sunderland stuff. I think it's just fantastic to
Absolutely.
see. That Leeds documentary, too, was also really, really good. And I think it's just, what it boils down to is, if you want a behind-the-scenes type look with some of these things, it gives you the behind-the-scenes type look. So, from that aspect, I think it's, it doesn't matter if you're a fan of the club. You can put that aside and have a look-see and see how things are actually run behind the scenes. And I think it's really interesting with a lot of these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the behind-the-scenes documentaries, and there's a lot of good ones, right? One of my favorites that I was just introduced to was Take the Ball, Pass the Ball.
Oh, the Barcelona one?
The Barcelona one from 2018, by Netflix. That was a really good one. I highly recommend that. And I think at some point, boys, we may want to run through the full list of what we've watched, what we haven't watched, and put a rating on them.
I've got top 10.
Yeah, I mean,
I like
got
the Bayern one.
Yeah.
I know you don't like Bayern, but I thought they did a good job.
I thought
it's not that I don't like Bayern. Is I don't like reading subtitles. I don't like reading.
Nate doesn't like reading.
I don't want to read. Sorry.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if you're going to watch the German stuff, you're going to have the subtitles.
They actually had a good one on Amazon Prime. It's not a documentary, but it was it's not an actual documentary. It's more of like a biography on how Adidas started and how the two brothers started it and then it split up into Puma. That was a really interesting one too.
Ooh, I do want to watch that one. I heard about that one as well.
Yeah.
That is, that should be fun.
Yes.
I might have to put that on my list. I've got about 10 or 12 I've watched documentaries, the Rooney, the Gerrard, Tony Cruz. I got a lot of documentaries I've been watching. Yeah. Nate, I don't know if we want to jump in and talk about your feelings on Ted Lasso. That might be a little bit later segment for us.
You mean Major League 3?
Major League 3?
Yeah, it's basically the plot. This first season is basically the plot line of Major League.
That is not something I
don't see that.
That did not.
You don't
correspond
see
with
that?
me.
That's
No.
like exactly the same plot line. Like, woman who inherits club that she doesn't want and then tries to purposely tank them is exactly the same plot line, dude.
But she was trying to move the Cleveland Indians to Vegas Miami.
She was trying to get someone
moved
to
to
buy
Miami.
them by playing bad. That's why she sold all the stars and brought in all these, like, Bush League players and a manager that's never managed
But
before.
that's not what they did.
That's like
They
that's why
didn't-
she brought in Ted Lasso to lose.
Okay,
But then
all right,
she-
hold on. Nate, besides the fact that the plot line is very similar to Major League the
Okay,
movie,
let me ask you a question.
besides
Where
that,
is Charlie Sheen in this goddamn
did
thing?
you
Come on.
did you
Tell
enjoy
me.
it? Was it enjoyable or entertaining?
I'm still trying to struggle through it a little bit. I mean, I haven't figured out. Am I watching a drama or a comedy? Because if I'm watching a drama,
Dramedy.
Don't give me that shit. That's someone who doesn't know how to write.
Rom-com?
Okay. Yeah, no, and I don't watch those. So if it's a drama, then it's a poorly written drama. If it's a comedy, it's lacking a lot of humor. So what am I watching here?
Wow. Well, again, I think we're gonna have to leave this one for a little bit later. Didn't see that coming from Nate.
I mean, I'm not
Did
done with
not
it, but I'm just saying.
see
it's
that
just-
coming.
I think it's highly overrated. Everyone who told me, they took a running gag of commercials and then made a series of it, and the commercials were hilarious, and they somehow made a heartfelt drama that, like, I'm not.
All right,
sorry,
it's
not doing it for me.
I will say
finish it.
I did not want to get on board with Ted Lasso. I was against it because again, they took some commercials and some funny skits and they made it into a full-length show. And then I had someone tell me, no, you just give it an episode or two, and I was hooked. I watched 4 episodes in
I'm
one
in
night.
season 2, so how many episodes is it going to take me?
You're going to be at this point. You're done with it. You should just quit it. But
No,
all right,
I never quit anything.
onwards. We got a lot to talk about. Again, we mentioned this in the opening. Livonia City FC went up to the Upper Peninsula. I'm going to do the hand thing for you people in the Michigan. You know, they went up here essentially, and they played a team from here, the Upper Peninsula. They played on Mackinac Island, which is actually a very prestigious and cool island. There is a soccer field on there that nobody really knew was there. Livonia City found it, and they did the Mackinac Cup. They won 3-0. I watched John Turner and Steve Besk give the call on that for Michigan Soccer Network. There were some internet issues. They were in and out a little bit, but they did a real good job. The internet issues was not their problem. They're on an island pretty much in the middle of the lake. So great job, guys. Very cool. Great to see a local club around here, a lower level division club around here, do something different, try to get their name out there and go play that. And they won 3-0, beating Upper Peninsula FC. So I just want to give a big shout out there. Very, very cool thing to see there. All right, Nate, let's jump in. I'm going to skip the Erling Haaland. We'll talk about Erling Haaland and Man City and their comeback win. Why don't we talk about Man United, how that game happened? And I feel, and it seems Man United fans are split down the middle on this. I've had several reach out to me and say, yep, it was a handball. McTominay hit the ball 3 times with his hand. It was a handball. Then I've had the other half of the Man United community reach out and say, what the hell are you talking about? Why do you hate Man United so much? There was never a handball. VAR looked at it, no call. You're crazy. So why don't, before I kind of jump in, I think you already know where I'm going with this, why don't you jump in and give me your thoughts on the McTominay no call handball there?
It's just simple. I don't give a shit.
Not the answer I was expecting.
No, I mean, what do you? It's people who are either they dislike the club, so they want to get right off the win. Like, oh, it's a handball, so the game shouldn't have counted. You don't know what's the way it would have ended. based off that. And so it was 1-0. There was plenty of other opportunities where they could have scored. A win's a win. What I find is funny is that everyone who is, it's a panic mode. What are you, Well, I said 2 games in the season. I said it's going to be a highly inconsistent team. And now they're 2-2.
It's a very inconsistent team.
And it's going to be an inconsistent team all
year.
It's
going to be for a long time. You're right. It's going to take a while. I think they've got 2 wins. One, a pretty convincing win over a poor Liverpool team. Liverpool, I've watched a lot of their games this season.
Or a Liverpool team that beat another team.
No. Sorry, let me rephrase that. A very good Liverpool team who had a very poor performance. I think it was a poor performance from a very good Liverpool team. And that game, honestly, was, if I'm being very honest, a little dire. It wasn't as entertaining as previous Liverpool-Man United games. Man United did what they had to do, and they got 3 points from a very good team who I thought put in a poor shift. We saw a very good Liverpool team put in a very good performance this weekend as they win 9-0 over lowly Bournemouth.
Relegated. Soon to be relegated.
Whoa, soon to be relegated. I think we can all jump on that bandwagon. By the way, they beat Villa, and again, another reason for me to go cry in the corner. Bournemouth.
Was that a club in panic Villa now?
We'll get to that. It's a little early in the show.
That's what happens when you lose games, right? It's a club in panic.
We'll get to that. It's not about the loss. It's about something else. I do want to clarify the Man United stuff from my standpoint. I got into some arguments with people on the We Are Soccer Facebook group. In my opinion, the ball hits a player's hand 3 times, 2 different hands. His hands are up. It should be a penalty. Penalties have been called for a lot less this season. I don't understand why VAR didn't intervene properly and say, go look, let's call it. This has got to be a penalty. But again, no, that is not what caused them to win the game.
That's not the proper interpretation of the law.
I think European VAR is a lot different from American VAR. I'm just going to put that out.
Oh, absolutely.
Wait. Hold on. Now I gotta know. European VARs. Okay, and go and explain, please.
I feel like in MLS they do a legit job with VAR.
Same with
in England and EPL and Bundesliga.
Bundesliga's fine.
The EPL VAR.
The EPL VAR is.
EPL VAR is the worst, the absolute worst. I cannot think of anything worse.
Can't get it right.
No.
There's like 3 things that are worse than EPL VAR.
Yeah.
Cancer, AIDS, and childhood death. Like, that's it. There's nothing worse than fucking EPL VAR. It is the absolute worst thing in the world.
I mean, the Bundesliga and MLS could do it. Like, this is the richest league in the world. Like, what is up?
Has no issues in the Bundesliga.
It does. In MLS, it's pretty much set on most of the time.
But nonetheless.
Well, I mean, there's less shady gambling and things.
Yes, yeah.
That's why, right?
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I understand the interpretation of the handball rule.
Yeah.
Did the player use his hand in a non-playing motion? Was his hand in a non-playing natural position? The player definitely influenced the ball 3 different times, is my interpretation of that. I think it should have been called. Whether Sunderland stick the penalty away and tie the game or win the game or go on to lose the game after that is irrelevant. It still should have been called. There was one the week prior, very similar call where it was called. All I'm asking for, and again, this is nothing. I would be saying the exact same thing if it was Aston Villa in that game. Just some consistency. Sure. All we're asking for is some consistency.
Not United's fault.
As I knocked my mic over. It's not United's fault. It's absolutely not United's fault. No. They've done nothing wrong. They benefited greatly. They seem to benefit greatly a lot of the time. But what I'm saying is a lot of Man U fans, half of them to be honest, have said, yeah, what are you talking about? No handball. Please read the rules. They're looking at me like I've never read the rules or played the sport before. I know the rules. I know what it is. Just asking for some consistency. In my opinion, the way it's been based this year should have been called as a handball.
I mean, no offense, you just kind of stated the rule wrong.
Go ahead. Well, it's using the hand in a non-natural playing position. Yeah. And did you influence the ball with your hand?
Yeah.
So if hands are down,
That's not what you said at the beginning.
I said if you influence the ball with your hand.
You said you touched it 3 times as a handball, and I said it's not the rule.
How do you touch the ball as I screw the cameras up, how do you touch the ball 3 times in the space of like 5 seconds?
Because it's bouncing off 2 players and you have no idea where you're at in your body is.
It bounces off one hand twice, and then to the other
I'm not
hand.
saying that's what happened here.
Boom,
I'm just giving you a reason. I'm just saying. You
I-
didn't get the rule right of what you said. You know the rule.
He influenced the ball.
Okay. Your opinion?
Is that not a handball?
I don't know. Are you the ref?
Again, all I'm asking for is consistency.
Okay, take it up with FIFA. Anyways, speaking
FIFA has nothing to do with this. EPL. FIFA has nothing to do with it.
Take it up.
It's
Take it
EPL,
up with your
English
shitty
Premier
refs
League.
that are
Yes.
clearly greasing the wheels for United because
Because the better United do, the better it is for EPL, and the more people around the world watch.
right, because they're the dominant team the last 10 years.
No, but they've got one of the largest fan bases around the world.
Yeah,
People tune in
yeah,
if
they
they're
do.
doing better.
It's weird how they're struggling to get in the Champions League. Then, if this
Not in the
conspiracy-
Champions
this
League.
conspiracy only works this one game or this one handball. They finished 6th last year, but the conspiracy. It's like.
No, I'm not saying conspiracy. All I'm asking for is consistency.
love
And United's
conspiracies.
very benefited
There's this
greatly.
pizza parlor in New Jersey. Anywho, so
It's EPL VAR.
it's
EPL VAR. It's EPL VAR.
what it's funny though is you just zipped over the big United story that like it isn't even this game.
Anthony?
Yes.
Oh, great. They overpaid for another player.
Overpaid in your opinion?
Is he worth it?
I don't know. Has he played a minute in EPL? You can't say he is or isn't, can you? Does he play for a Champions League team right now?
Ajax? Yeah.
He absolutely does. The Ajax who's in the Champions League every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think it's a great sale, but I think they overpaid. Why did they wait so long towards the end of the window? I mean, that sale.
Because their shit show of so it depends on who you ask. I think there was some shit show going on from the scouting area. Go ahead, Brooks. But the reality is apparently, if you read the story from the Mr. Here We Go, that Anthony actually went in February this year and told the club his desire to leave. Then in June, and this is like from him in his interview, in June, he then left his vacation early and was like, hey, I want to leave. I want to go here.
Interesting.
He always said he would follow Tag, even in his like farewell speech to him. I'll go wherever you are. Just say the word. So he was saying the word. Ajax didn't want to sell, and then it took him going. I'm not showing up to training. I'm not going to play. You need to force this through to happen. Now, did it happen? I don't know. It's not deadline day, is it? We got another week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's end of the hour, but.
I always forget this window is extended.
Yeah, you got till next Thursday. You still got 7 days. So it's
I don't think there's quite that many days. I think it finishes in the
Thursday.
next 3 or 4 days.
No, it
so,
finishes Thursday.
So we got
What
5
was
days
it?
left.
Ajax
5
being
days?
like, I want
5
this
days.
much money for him.
No, Ajax didn't want to sell him.
Okay.
Ajax said no,
I mean, okay.
and he went, okay, I'm not playing no more. So like that's why he didn't play like this last weekend because he didn't show up to training. He said, I'm done.
Wow.
You need to sell me. So I mean, could it happen faster? Okay. Should it happen faster? Okay. Is he too much money? Okay.
Yeah.
I think all those are irrelevant. If you could have paid $100 million for De Bruyne, would you? Like Craig, seriously, if you were De Bruyne playing at Wolfsburg, he came from Wolfsburg, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He did good in Wolfsburg.
Sure.
Anthony did well and it does well in Ajax.
Mm-hmm.
Two lower end leagues. Bundesliga a little bit better. If
Yeah, it would absolutely
if you
pay-
would
yeah.
have paid, if you could have had De Bruyne for $100 million on your squad, would you have done it?
Knowing that, I mean, if I had a crystal ball, knowing what he has done, to be honest, we all know what he did at Chelsea. He failed.
Yeah.
He failed at Chelsea. So did Mo
That's not the
Salah.
question. If you valued him, would you pay $100 million on him? Now, who would value this player the most and knows how this player plays?
I think that's actually a bad argument because De Bruyne has actually previously had experience in the Premiership where he
You just
didn't
said
do
he
very
didn't-
well.
And you just said he didn't do well.
He didn't do very well at
Right.
all. So asking for $100 million, I think you'd have a lot of people questioning it. Now with the
You
crystal
got
ball
my-
going, wow, look what he's done. He's the best player, one of the best players in the world. Obviously, yes.
Yeah, my
It
point-
is. I think if we're all being very honest, we all know this. There's a Premiership tax and there's a Man United tax.
It's exactly. It's absolutely a Man United tax, a Premiership tax,
Yep.
a tax. Who gives a shit tax? The question at the end of the day.
Sounds like they tax more than America.
I know.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Oh,
we can't answer it yet.
facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't answer it yet.
Right.
Is he a good player for the Premier League? Time will
I'm
tell.
gonna ask you as a Man United fan: is he the player you needed? Is he the
So
player that all
here's-
Man United fans wanted, or is he just we got to get someone in here?
No.
We got to get someone
no.
now because Frankie De Jong
Nope.
fell through.
No,
is he the player you
that
wanted?
Wasn't, but that's you're making a scenario that didn't exist. The scenario that existed was Erik ten Hag said, "I want this guy. This is my player. I need him now. Go get him. Spend whatever the fuck it costs.
Kind of Pep
Get
Guardiola
him."
move, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
So now the question is: so when you ask me that question, you're basically saying, Nate, do you trust your new manager? Because that's what it is. It wasn't some bored guy in the back room, going, yeah, it looks like a cool name. Let's go get him.
You know personally that Erik ten Hag actually said, "I want that player.
That was in all
Pay
the
whatever
reports, yes.
it costs."
Yes, that's what it was in every one of the reports that came out.
Okay.
That he said, I want this guy. This is my guy. Bring him in. I need him. So now the question is, just like the Jesse Marsh question with Adams, just like the Jesse Marsh question with Aaron Aronson, he's tying himself to this player.
He absolutely 100% is because it costs a lot of money to bring him in.
Guy.
Yep.
So you're asking me, do I trust Erik ten Hag? And right now, I have no reason not to if I look at the other players that he brought in who are performing very well.
Okay, so who moves to the bench? Who moves to the
Ronaldo,
bench?
fuck that guy.
Ronaldo's already on the bench.
Yeah,
he
he
hasn't
goes
started the
far on
last
the bench?
two. He hasn't started the last 2 games, so he just moves another spot down.
Yeah, keep going.
Like down to the
Move
23s.
down.
No, I don't know what you mean by who goes onto the bench.
Well, you've got a starting 11, I believe. The last
you don't
2
have
games.
a starting front three.
The last 2 games, you've had the same starting 11, maybe
So
one
Anthony
or 2.
Martial is injured.
Yep.
You have Rashford. You have Sancho.
Yep.
And you have unknown player B that can play on the right hand side. So you got Nugula or whatever his name is.
Is he an academy player?
Yeah, but you got
Get the academy kid.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
You don't got, that's my point. You have Rashford, you have Sancho, and then question mark over here. Now, can he play that question mark? Is he going to be better than the other guys?
You would hope so if that's the player that
Yeah.
Erik ten Hag wanted them to go get and spend a lot of money
This is where
on.
development fails in
Yep.
EPL because they
They
won't
don't,
take a
hold
shot.
on, they don't develop in the EPL.
Because they are
There's
because
no
they are
development.
required to win.
develop.
This is like super college
Wait,
soccer on
you can't-
steroids.
hold on.
That's what the EPL is. Super college soccer
Well,
on steroids.
you're true. But hold on, you can't say development fails in the EPL because that's like saying Nate fails at baseball. I don't fucking do it, so I can't fail at something I don't do.
I appreciate how Phil Foden, they're like, Phil, you gotta wait.
I
Then
found
they gave
one
him his
guy.
chance. I guess Declan Rice, right, for West Ham was probably one as well. Doesn't he come up through West Ham as well?
He has. West Ham
2
over the years
guys.
have been very good. Yeah.
There's
We
probably
found
more.
2.
There's probably, Arsenal has a few, don't they?
Arsenal have a few. Leeds have a few.
Yeah.
Phillips came through there. Actually, and I hate to see it, everybody will make fun of me,
But
but
Man U's
Aston
the
Villa
one-
has a very good academy and youth
Yes.
system. They end up selling those players or the
Yes.
players play them out. But in the last couple of years, Aston Villa's youth teams have won a lot of FA Cups
Yes.
and U23 Cups. So
Yes.
has it panned out? Well, it panned out to the tune of $100 million last year when we sold Jack Grealish, right?
Yes.
But United typically back in the 90s and early 2000s had very good academies,
Was.
and they were great.
Yeah.
And
And
then
since then,
failed
nothing-
at left and right.
And
And
failed
I think
since.
if you can't bring up a few kids from your academy to fill spots, what the fuck you paying people for, dude? What are you doing?
West Ham used to be.
Let's be honest. What are you doing? Why are you paying academy staff and everything? Just be like, I'm just gonna go buy whoever I want to at this
because
point.
who else is going to train the Bundesliga stars to come in?
That's a good point.
And then we make them better and then sell them
And then
back.
we sell them back to the
Sure,
EPL.
we
Like,
buy
look
them
what
for
we did.
$5 and send it back to you for $5 million.
Because we gave him a chance. Because you guys are morons, which they are.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Man United fans.
You
I'm
always
sorry,
like
people.
Yeah, it's not just Man United. It's like all the EPL.
Yeah.
Could you like imagine just being like on a board for a German team? And they're
Yeah.
like, that guy? You don't want that?
We'll take him.
Yep.
You
Look at this
sure?
Champions
sure
League.
about
And
that?
then like a year later, they're like, all right. Can we have him back? Yeah, sure.
For more money. money.
for
80 million?
quadruple the price.
And that's why they're like, we need to start this second league, this second EPL tier league or whatever. Because when that was coming about, they were like, this is why we need to do it because we can hold our guys.
And we've said it multiple times over the last couple of months, over the last couple of years. We all know
EPL too.
Borussia Dortmund do a great job of identifying
EPL
young players around the world
Yes.
that all of a sudden they can take and say 16, 17, 18 years old, we'll give you $20 million for him right now. And then we're going to train him. And in 4 years, we're going to sell him for $100 million.
but it's not just-
Borussia Dortmund, Ajax do the same thing.
As
we just proved.
Where did De Bruyne come from? Wolfsburg.
Yes.
Agreed.
Where did Firmino come from?
Agreed.
Hoffenheim.
Bundesliga do a
Where did Rudiger come
phenomenal
from?
job.
Stuttgart.
And everybody makes fun of the Bundesliga because it's a farmers league and all that good stuff.
It's highly entertaining to watch.
It is highly entertaining,
money
but the
they
EPL stars of tomorrow are now playing in the Bundesliga right now. That's
I
where
want
they're
to see
at.
calculations, and there's probably an article somewhere of how much money Bundesliga teams have made from the utter failures of Man City and Man United to keep their players and Chelsea and everyone. Like, go on. Oh, we're going to buy you back for, like, double the price of what, you guys bought them for. Like, I want to see those numbers.
I need to actually find it. I need to find it. I have screenshots from this summer.
Yeah.
I have screenshots from this summer of the sales that have gone through for each league, go ins and outs.
Okay.
And the Premiership right now is at 1.7 billion pounds spent. They've sold players to the tune of like 1.4, so they're in the hole.
Yes.
300 million. They are the only one that's in the hole. Every other league is in the black and in the positive, and they are killing it. And that's just a Premiership because there's a Premiership tax, as we just said.
Exactly.
It's not a Premiership tax. It's as simple as this. If someone if you got a player that's good and no motivation to sell him, and then the rich kid or you got something that the rich kid on the street wants, you're gonna go, I don't know, let me throw out a wacky number, and these clubs pay for it.
Is that not a Premiership tax? If you're Borussia Dortmund, let's say you're Borussia Dortmund, and you've got a player, and Real Sociedad comes in for them.
Oh.
Or
Villarreal.
or Villarreal or Club Brugge come in for this player. You go, you know what? I think we could probably get about 15 to 20 million for him. Yeah, this is a good deal. And then all of a sudden, Aston Villa, Man United, Newcastle, and Bournemouth come in.
100+ million.
And the price doubles. It doubles.
So
and here's, I'm going to give you a prime example right
It's a
now.
joke.
Newcastle's newest player, Isaac, that just got purchased.
Yeah, from
for
Real Sociedad.
for 70+ million pounds.
How much did they buy him for?
He was rated several months ago before everything happened as a 33 million pound player. So why all of a sudden did the price double? Oh, because it's Newcastle in the Premiership. Newcastle, we all know they're one of the richest clubs in the world. But they're also in the Premiership.
You have a damn good agent that gets you that money.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with that. And it's
How?
it could all stop. It could easily all stop.
Yeah.
It could all stop if the Premier League would set in rules and standards, and it could all fucking stop.
That's true.
If the market dries up, then there is no 100 or 200 or 300 million dollar players.
If we're not talking about if, we're talking about what's happened. Like it's proven that it's happened as a Premiership tax. When a club comes in, you go put the extra money on that for the Premiership.
A tax implies that you're forced to pay it. That's what taxes are. You don't. It's not an option for me to go. You know what, U.S. government, I'm not going to pay for that player. Give you, my employment tax. I have to do it. They don't have to do it. They're doing it themselves. If they put in rules and regulations like the Bundesliga, this would all fucking stop.
You put in rules and regulations, and then there becomes a lot more parity and a lot of unhappy owners.
Oh,
So guess what's never going to happen in the Premiership?
Well,
it's a money grab.
And
man.
it's your own fault. It's not a tax. It's
not my
your
fault.
Well, it's their fault. It's their stupid business.
They
It's
drive
not
up
tax.
prices and it gets absurd.
But here's the thing: the Premiership teams are happy to pay those prices.
Yeah, and you
They're
know
happy to pay 'em.
what? When the
And they
EPL
will.
wants it to stop, then they can put a fucking stop to it like the Bundesliga did.
Absolutely, 100% agree. 100% agree. Why don't we talk now about one of the best players in the world who's come into the Premiership this past year? One Mr. Erling Haaland, who is, I think he might actually be the leading goal scorer at this point because he's got 5 goals. Scored a hat-trick this weekend. Manchester City found themselves playing at home against Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace have typically been their bogey team.
And Crystal Palace is a top 4 team.
Crystal Palace have been on a pretty good tear the last couple of months. This season, in their fourth game here, have been playing pretty well. They were up 2-0. They scored 2 very nice goals, one an own goal, but coming in from a corner, they all in a very nice header, found themselves up 2-0 and made Man City panic. They were panicking. At halftime, Man City made some changes. You could see the changes. They nullified the breakout attacks and the possession of the ball that the Crystal Palace actually had. And at the end of the game, 4-2, like Man City do. They showed their class. They came out. Erling Haaland, specifically his third goal, oh my gosh, showed his power, his skill, his pace. Held off a defender. You could see the run early. Stayed on sides, held the defender off, slotted the ball away very nicely. What a beautiful goal. Again, Erling Haaland in his career has had the issues of health. He has not been able to stay healthy. He is a bit of a China doll. He has been very injured. We know this in the last couple of years. Again, I don't think he's going to get quite the minutes he played last year at Borussia Dortmund. I think he will be subbed a little bit more. He won't be used as much in we'll call them the easier type games for Man City. So far, he's started all 4 games because he probably is 100% healthy at the moment. But they will start to limit his minutes. They do have some health issues. There's 2 or 3 players like Grealish who are out injured. But Erling Haaland right now, if he continues on this pace, unstoppable. He, to me, has everything that's needed for a striker in that team. He does not want the ball at midfield. He is not going to slice and dice 7 people. He needs to be in the box. You put the ball on his head or on his foot in the box, that ball is going to be in the back of the net. And guess what Man City have been doing? Finding him in the box, finding him on nice long runs and a through ball. He is a top player and proving it. And what a snip of a player at $65 million. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's nothing backloaded on that either. It's just
probably.
pure...
Oh, there's backloaded for sure. And we all know that Man City only paid 65 because the extra money's in his wages.
Whatever his name is.
But what a player he's turned out to be. Brooks and Nate, any thoughts on that? Where do you think?
I think you're overselling a player based on Game 3 that hasn't played a real fucking team yet.
Game 4?
No, what?
Game 4.
Oh, Game 4. Well, no, because one of them I don't think he played.
He did. He actually only had 8 touches against West Ham.
Yeah.
So it was like he wasn't even on the field. He only had 8 touches in the entire game he played.
And West Ham,
I said it's only 4 games in, but based on his performance so far.
So, okay, I guess if you want to say based on the performance so far, fine, whatever. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think City is going to win the league this year because basically the Premier League has now turned into the modern-day farm league. Welcome to the party, gentlemen. But so it's not like Nate bashing City, Nate hates it. No, City's going to win the league.
Yep.
I just think I think you need to wait a minute before saying the guy's going to be the leading goal scorer in the league. Now, does he possess the ability? Yeah. But we also know something that is true is can the guy stay healthy for the season for the first time ever in his career.
Play a lot more games, too. He doesn't have a month off
see.
anymore.
Let's see.
We may need our producer off stage here to rewind it to me saying, I think he can be one of the top players if he stays healthy and if he continues on this route. But you are echoing what I've said, and I think that just shows that he is a really good player.
Oh, he always.
There was never a doubt, right?
There's never a doubt.
Right.
There was never a doubt. There was never a doubt that he was going to be a good player. Anyone who watched him in the Bundesliga could see he was going to be a good player. The only knock on him is the fact in his inability to stay healthy.
Agreed.
That's it. And can he slug it out toe to toe with some of the bigger, tougher center backs, which I do not believe he's played yet in the league.
He did play against Kurt Zuma in West Ham, the West Ham game.
Yep.
So they play. The Crystal Palace aren't that tough in their center backs.
That's Chris Richards didn't play. That's why.
Yeah, Richards didn't play.
That's why.
Absolutely. Exactly. When he comes up against Virgil van Dijk, it's gonna be gonna be a hell of a test for him, right?
I'm just bringing everyone down to reality. That's it.
Agreed. We do have to temper our expectations, but obviously, for a young kid to step in and to be built like he's built, to have the speed and have that skill, it's unbelievable. Why don't we not to skip away from this, but let's take a look at the results from this weekend. So Man United 1-0 over Southampton, we know that. Liverpool 9-0 over Bournemouth. And if I told you before the weekend that Liverpool were going to win 9-0 over Bournemouth and Mo Salah wouldn't be on the score sheet, would you have believed that? No, I mean, that's crazy. But good win for Liverpool after their big loss to Man United, their rival. So Liverpool, yes. Liverpool fans, I'm rubbing a little bit of salt in the wound there. I know they were very upset. Brentford 1, Everton 1. Man City 4, Crystal Palace 2, as we just talked about, with Erling Haaland getting the hat-trick and the game ball. Brighton 1, Leeds 0.
Leeds.
Brighton. Potter, the manager there, doing a very good job. And that brings Leeds down to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
They were flying high.
It's going to happen.
I personally put a bet on this game for it to tie. I thought Leeds would score a goal or two. I thought Brighton would score a goal or two. Brighton are very underrated right now. So I thought that game was getting a tie. Brighton, well done. 3 points from Leeds, who are flying high, and that brings them down. Yeah. Chelsea 2, Leicester 1. Chelsea actually got that job done with 10 men. I believe it was Conor Gallagher who was sent off. He's having a bit of a torrential...
Weren't they going to loan him out? I saw rumors that they wanted to loan him out, actually.
Well, they loaned him out last year, and he did very well in Crystal Palace, and then they thought he brings something a little different to the team this year, so they kept him. So far this year, he has not done very well. Conor Gallagher, did you actually see the penalty he took when they were on tour here in the United States? Who they play? I forget who they played, and he tried the Panenka where you tried to
against Charlotte FC.
Yes, and he put it right down the middle, and it bobbled to the goalkeeper, and everybody laughed. Yeah, so Conor Gallagher having a real shit year. He got sent off. Chelsea came back 2-1 there. Arsenal continue their dominance and win 2-1 over Fulham. Quietly, Arsenal going about their business, undefeated this year. 4 games undefeated, doing very well. Villa 0, West Ham 1. We'll talk about this game in a minute. Wolves 1, Newcastle 1. Newcastle needed to come back and draw the Maxime Saint-Marin worldy to tie that one 1-1. Nottingham Forest 0, Tottenham 2. Harry Kane with goals. He also missed a penalty.
Did you see that tackle on Richarlison in that?
I did, and it was deserved, was it not? You can't juggle a ball.
He was really showboating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest, and a lot of people who are watching are probably going to attest to this. I've had people do that in games where I'm playing, and I go do the exact same thing that defender did to Richarlison. I go kick them. You're not allowed to juggle a ball in a game. I don't care if it's Premiership or men's over 40, men's open. You go kick someone. You don't juggle a ball in a game. It's disrespectful.
General life, don't be a douchebag.
Exactly. Exactly. I do want to talk about the Villa game. I watched that Villa-West Ham game. The first half could quite possibly be the most boring half of soccer I've ever seen in my life. 45 minutes of 2 bad teams going at it. I don't think there was too many shots on goal. The goalkeepers could have taken naps, could have done their taxes for the year. That was terrible. In the second half, David Moyes changed it up. He went from a back 3 in the first half to a back 4 in the second half. Gerrard and his backroom staff had no idea how to handle it. They did not know what to do. West Ham had a lot more possession, created a lot more chances. They made some changes. Villa didn't know what to do. They were just off the mark. At home, at Villa Park, listen, no, I'm not calling for Gerrard to be fired, to be sacked. What I am calling for is for Gerrard and his backroom staff to find an identity. Let's get an identity with this team. They can't find a starting 11. This is the 5th game now that they've had 5 different starting lineups. They cannot find a back 4 that they like. They can't find a starting midfield that they like. They just can't seem to find a fit. Nothing has worked. Gerrard and his backroom staff need to find an identity for this team. They need to find a starting 11. It is getting a little silly. I did read a stat now that over the course of, I think, 12 or 15 games, Gerrard has actually the worst record of any Villa manager over the first 15 games.
Wow.
Yeah. They've fired managers for a lot less. No, I'm not calling for him to be sacked. Absolutely not. You got to have a little bit of faith, and you got to have a little bit of stick-to-itiveness, and you got to be able to stick with the plan. but something's got to change. Something has to change because losing at home 1-0 to a poor West Ham team is not acceptable. And listen, Aston Villa right now are in the mode of putting out plans for changes that are going to happen at Villa Park, which is going to cost a lot of money. The ticket prices went up this year. The prices of beer, the prices of food went up this year.
Wait.
They are charging Champions League prices for championship level quality soccer. That is my point right now.
The beer went up?
Beer prices went up.
Oh, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Trust me. There are a lot of Villa fans who've said, wait a minute, you're charging us more money to get into the stadium. You're charging us more money for food. You're charging us more money for beer. The level of soccer needs to go up if you're going to charge us more money.
Sounds like an American ownership to me.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it sounds like Detroit Lions all over again.
All over
Shit
again.
team, let's fucking erase more of the goals.
Again.
Or they have like an automatic beer dispenser I read somewhere this year. They're putting in Ford Field or whatever that like gets you a beer or whatever,
Yeah,
like
you're
or
gonna
fills
need
your
it.
cup or
You're
whatever.
gonna need it.
Yeah, a bunch of hungover drunk
An
people. have
an
Ford
automatic
Field.
beer dispenser at Ford Field.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good idea because the Lions drive a lot of people to drink.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a lot more drunk people driving home this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Causing
that's interesting.
Shenanigans in the stands with the fans.
Shenanigans.
Yes.
Lots and lots of shenanigans. All right, why don't we skip to a little segment I like to call Team of the Week. So We Are Soccer and Michigan Soccer Central have teamed up to do Team of the Week. Let me see if I can find the graphic here. It is not the EPL one. We are going to do, where did she go? I don't know where it went.
Oh
I
man.
don't know where it
I
went.
thought we were gonna nominate my team of the week.
Your team of the week. We might have to skip to the.
I mean, honestly, while you're looking for that, I mean, hats off to my team who played this week in the,
What tournament did you play in?
Yeah, I mean, they did all right, and there's a bunch of half new, so they're just getting. We're just getting things under wrap, and
Who hosted this tournament?
it's Liverpool. Liverpool's
Like Liverpool Clarkston or whatever.
well, no, it was Liverpool Central. So I was in it on Ultimate, which UWM can't call it Ultimate anymore.
Yeah.
But which is a nice facility.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I think it's going on the wayside. So.
Yeah. Can we talk about this Miami Vice logo we have going on, Craig, with the WAS? I kind of like that.
He wanted to match his shirt.
I enjoy the Miami Vice logo we have.
I just had to give it a little bit of color. I wanted
Yeah.
to.
Were you going for Miami Vice?
I thought the not Miami Vice, but
Okay.
the kids might like it. So I was walking around a store the other day. I'm like, man, all these kids, they got all these flash hip colors on. Yeah, it's cool. So
I thought you wanted to color code your shirt.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is one of my favorite soccer shirts. This is Dilton Marsh, a lower level English team, and yeah, I love this shirt, man. They sent this to me. It's got my name on the back and my number 13. So yeah, we'll come back and do the Team of the Week after the break.
Yes.
Nate, do you want to talk about some Bundesliga results because there were a lot of results this weekend.
Or like Bundesliga table here.
When it's late at night and you're bored at home, it's time to talk Bundesliga with Nate.
And Brooks,
Says his
because
Nuremberg jersey on.
Brooks says his Nuremberg. I do like the singing, Nate. By the way, I think that adds a lot
I
of.
try to bring something to the table.
I think it brings a lot to the table. Why don't we talk about the Bayern Munich results?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll let you go ahead. You're a Bundesliga guy. Go ahead and give us your
Let's
thoughts.
just hammer some out real quick. Hertha versus Dortmund. Dortmund won with a one who scores the goals like all the rest. Anthony Modeste, who they picked up to replace Haller there. So it was a 1-0 good win for Dortmund to keep him up.
Was he from Stuttgart?
He is not. He was bought from Cologne.
Wait,
yes.
he's got no ties to Stuttgart.
No.
He's
I
dead.
bet he does. I bet he has somewhere.
Dead to me.
So
Yes.
it was skipping right along. I was wrong on a lot of results. But one interesting and actually good game that was Berlin versus Schalke, and the reason why that was interesting is they won Jordan Sabachu P-Folk, or as he says, I don't care what you call me, put in another fine display with 2 assists.
Actually, that'll lead us in right after the break. We're going to do a U.S. men's national team debate.
Yep.
The three of us, Nate, Brooks, and myself, are going to tell you 9 forwards for the U.S. men's national team. 3 who are on the bubble, 3 who we think should be on the plane to Qatar, and 3 who just need to be forgotten. Sorry, I want to get that in there because I think that's going to be fun.
That's okay.
But Pufok did have another great game this
So
past
he
weekend.
had another fantastic game, and is being raved about not from non-U.S. basically pundits about how good he is and how good of a pickup this is. And that's these games are also good and important for Leverkusen getting their win, Leipzig getting their win, Berlin getting their win, because they're all playing European football. So you have like over 8 teams right now going to be playing either the Champions, the Conference, or the Europa League, and Union is one of them, and they stand a strong chance to get out of the group based on what they had. So a good performance for them. Game of the week, actual slugfest, would be your Bayern versus your Gladbach there that you wanted to talk about, Craig.
What a hell of a game. What a performance by Jan Sommer.
Jan
my
Sommer
gosh.
setting a career-high 19 saves.
Jeez.
Now, and I would like to say, honestly, that whole Gladbach team, back line.
Did they play a 5 back?
They played 4 back,
Wow.
and they basically played, go ahead and attack us, and we're just going to quick counter you. And
That's what you gotta
that
do.
whole back line put in a stunning performance. Wow. All 4 defenders, of which one is U.S. snub Joe Scully. And I say U.S. snub is because one of the commentators just happened to bring up that he is on the list for Young Boy of the Year, but yet struggles to find time and spot in the whole Berhalter system. I guess one day, hopefully, he'll be good up. It's gone into a joke now.
He's got to make the next squad. The game
joke.
that's being
It's
played
a joke.
in Germany.
Even Gladbach's like, yep, 4th starter, but I guess he's not good enough for, we're putting him against one of the best teams in the world to do a job, but yeah, I guess go ahead, Greg, And he did. He went up against Davies, and that was his job.
It's pretty funny when the social media team at Gladbach is making fun of Greg Berhalter.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny, and they're not wrong. How has he not gotten into the squad consistently? He plays in a league against some of the best teams.
Ridiculous.
It is
not
absolutely
only that,
ridiculous.
but in
Greg,
the game that matters.
Get through your head.
In the game that matters, in the game that was important, his job was to shut down Davis, and he did a decent job at it. He did a pretty damn good job on it with that whole back line. So, good game, very entertaining, high chances all over the place. Bayern squeaked one out at the end, and barely got away with a 1-1 draw, but it was a hell of an entertaining game. If you want a game where you want to watch a back line do job and put in work and get stuck in, that was that game. And then the plan was just to counterattack, and that's how they scored the goal. And they actually almost had
there's
a couple
nothing wrong
other.
with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
They almost had it. Well, yeah, when you're an inferior opponent, and they kind of are if you look at the squad per squad, they came up with a strategy, and the strategy worked. And by the way, they beat them twice last year. So 3 outings against Munich. In the last 3 outings, they're undefeated against them. My Stuttgart played today against Cologne.
Congratulations on a very valuable point there.
0-0.
Point is a point.
They gotta get a win here eventually, and that's a good draw. However, there's a lot of different controversy going on with that game.
Do explain.
So, Mascherano, the coach, the U.S. coach, in his press conference going into the game, basically said anyone who's these Sasha Klaus and Barra Sosa, if they're not squared away with their contracts, if they're thinking about leaving, I'm not gonna play them. So Barra Sosa and these are the 2 better players. Barra Sosa saw the field, so obviously things are good there. And Sasha Klasic, who's linked with the Wolves, by the way, so linked with the Premier League.
I like
the
that.
Wolves.
The Wolves. Wolverhampton Wanderers.
He's linked with the transfer there. Wasn't told not to come in, and basically Luka.
I like that. Hey
basically.
man, if you're not gonna commit your future to us, we've offered you a good contract. If you're not gonna commit to the future and commit to this team, you know what? You can train with the youth team, and for games, go ahead.
No, you
can sit in the stands.
He is excused. He was excused from all training, just not even training with the youth teams. We'll sort out. So that deal is probably he'll be a Premier League player soon, and I'm not a big Wolverhampton fan. If there needed a target forward, he is your guy. If you're expecting him to do great runs and do a lot of stuff, I don't think so. And I almost wonder if Stuttgart, the way they play, might be better off without him. I wasn't one to be upset with him leaving. Now, Sosa, different story. He's pivotal to their team, and it will suck if he goes. Red cards, 2 of them for Stuttgart. One was for Luka Piffer, who is their new guy who got signed to replace Kalecic. And honestly, cleats up, studs up. First game in the Bundesliga, coming from Midgetland. 2 studs right in a player.
So you're telling me it was very deserved.
Very deserved.
Very deserved. Like, no doubt, Stevie Wonder referee could have found out.
No question there.
And
then, fun times. Guess who else got a red card? The coach. for yelling at the other team and got excused. So that was another entertaining game to watch because of all the theatrics, and honestly, it was very back and forth and very even for both Cologne and Stuttgart. Stuttgart was lucky to get a 0-0 point, but the only issue I see is they do have to put in a win. Finally, Frankfurt getting their first win, getting back on the map with playing their game there. Very tight, high-scoring game. And they kind of nudged one out, looking good, looking like the Frankfurt that played and won the Europa. So hopefully they're back on track as well, and they need to be because they're going in the Champions League here. So all the teams that you were hoping to start finding form are now finding form, and at the right time, rolling into the Champions Europa matches, and hopefully they can build on these successes that they had.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a small break, and on the other side, what we're going to talk about is, speaking of Champions League groups. We're going to kind of take a quick look at that. We'll talk about the MLS. We'll do a roundup there. We'll talk about U.S. men's national team striker debates. We will talk about the Michigan Soccer Central and We Are Soccer Team of the Week. So lots to look forward to. We're also going to call out and appreciate some We Are Soccer Facebook group members and the job they've been doing in the group there. So lots to look forward to. We'll see you guys on the other side in about 5 minutes. All right, welcome back to We Are Soccer after our little break there. Hopefully everybody got a beer, got some chips, and you're ready. Because right now we are going to do the U.S. men's national team striker/forward debate. I know Nate has been looking forward to this. And Brooks, well, man, I tell you, I don't know if Brooks knows a lot of strikers and then forwards for the U.S. men's national team, but he does have a very nice jersey on. He loves to do his costume changes. Look at you, Brooks. Look at you. Should we do the USA chants? I don't know.
USA.
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 I thought you said who SA. That makes no sense to me.
I believe.
Oh, good
We
Lord.
will win.
I believe.
That we will win.
I believe that Nate is right. I believe that Nate is right. I believe that Nate is right.
Jeez.
All right, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about strikers, forwards who've played for the U.S. men's national team who we think should be on the plane to Qatar in November. We're going to list out three individually who we think is on the plane to Qatar. We're going to list out some people on the bubble, and then we're going to list out the rest who should not even be in consideration, who are out.
Turn my
Out.
screen away from me.
Out. Oh, it's getting serious. They're turning their screens now.
I know you are.
All right, let's bring up some notes here, boys. All right, do you
Let's start with outs first. Let's just go with outs.
let's do with
Outs?
let's go with
Get
the
rid of
out.
first, because they could make it interesting.
No, let's get rid of the outs. Who is we sent a list, right? And
Yes.
the list is
I feel like we should.
We should read the list first.
Well,
shouldn't
read
we?
the list.
Nate, go ahead and read the list,
The
of
list.
strikers for us, please.
So let me set up the rules before everyone goes like, well, I would have, Chris Richards play striker because it is dynamic. Good. No. So we were saying, hey, nines, pure nines, you can only take a pure nine, and he's playing your nine. Nowhere else, nowhere tweener, that's your nine, right? And we listed the pure nines, or what we consider pure nines, right? PFOG,
Ones that have played before.
ones
Even
that
if they
have
do play
played,
winger.
or yes, one that have played
Yes.
or play, and maybe they haven't played but normally play a nine.
Yes.
So that would disclude Arison because he doesn't normally play a nine.
Or Pulisic,
That excludes Pulisic. That
which people have said maybe
yeah.
a false nine. but
Yeah,
yes,
no,
yes.
that
I'm
excludes
just saying.
Tim Weah
Yeah.
because all those guys technically
Are
can
wingers.
play nines, but in the system they play wingers. So PFOC, Wright, Poppy, Dyke, Zardes, Fiera, Pepe, Jordan Morris, Sargent, and Vasquez, I believe is his name. Vasquez, who's never even been called in. But anywho, that's who we
He
have.
was with the youth national teams.
Okay, that's fine.
So
Doesn't really
he's
matter.
been
Doesn't matter if
consistent.
he's called in or not. He's a successful striker right now for MLS.
So we've
He's on the
got
list.
we've got a solid 9 for us to pick from.
Yep.
10. There's a solid. It's just 10.
You got
All right,
10?
we got a solid 10.
So
we
four
know
out.
most of them. Some are a little unknown. And
Yep.
what are the rules again? 3 we think are on the plane.
3 are on the plane, 3 are on the bubble, and 4 are out.
4 out, 3 bubble, 3 on the plane
Yep,
for sure.
yep.
All right.
You
How do
got
you
a
want?
ticket for.
All right. How are we going to do this? Is you Nate? Do you
I
want to
see
go
you go
first?
out first.
Who you want to tell us who you've got going out?
Going out. Number 1 on the list with the bullet. Sorry, Columbus. Sorry, Colorado Avalanche. But Jesse Sardes. Rabbits.
Colorado Rapids.
Come
Rabbits.
on, not the hockey team.
How do you know he doesn't play for the hockey team? How do you know?
He sometimes acts like he's on
Yeah, how do you know he
skates.
doesn't play pickup hockey?
I don't know.
You just assumed. I know he does.
So I'm going to guess you're going Jossie Zardes there.
Jesse Sardes at
Jesse.
at age 30, who's played 26 games or so with 8 goals, 2 assists. Sorry, buddy. I'm not even buying you a ticket.
You're out.
Enjoy the show. Do you want to hear my reasoning why?
No, I do. Brooks, where are you on Zardes? Is he on your bubble? Is he on the plane, or is he out?
Well, he needs to rate his 4, and then
Well, I think we go.
One at a time?
I would like. I think this is one we might all have in common.
Oh, okay. He's on my out.
Did agree or disagree? Agree?
Agree. He's on
Agree?
my out. Yeah.
Agree.
100% agree. He's on my out list, so I don't think we need any reasoning.
We
I
don't
think.
need- we can just
I think
move
we're good.
on.
We're good. He's out. All right, Nate. Next on your out list.
Do you want to do one for Brooks?
Yeah, let's do that. Fine.
Brooks, out list, go.
All right. For me, Daryl DK. Because he's not performed with West Brom. Okay, if he stayed in MLS and he was still scoring goals for Orlando, I think he would be a consideration. He's been injured. So for me, he is definitely on my out list. It's not the time There's too many better. There's too many better quality forwards, in my opinion, ahead of him that can do more than what Daryl can do at the moment.
Okay. Yep. Understood. Nate, where's DK? Where is Daryl DK on your list?
He's on my list of players that will be watching with Zardes from the couch after the Colorado Rapids game.
He is also on the list of people who's going to be on the couch for me. He is out. And I am a huge Daryl DK fan.
Yeah,
I'm a very big fan of his. I thought he did very well in the MLS. I thought he did very well when he went and played in the championship on loan for Barnsley. And unfortunately, he's gotten injured at West Brom and has not been able to perform. I think he's healthy now, but just can't seem to get back in good form there on the couch at home.
And maybe he will. And at 22...
Yeah, he's only 22 years old. He's still got a long time.
In the next World Cup cycle.
Yeah.
Yep.
But as of right now, today, and you have to make a decision today, you can't go with hopes and prayer. He's up. Agreed.
He's up. All right. Do you want me
You're up.
to? All right.
You're up.
All right. I would like to leave Morris at home.
Jordan Morris.
Yep. I don't like Jordan Morris as a forward. If he goes, he's going to be as a midfielder, wide right. I think we've got enough midfielders, so I think he's going to take up a valuable spot that we don't even need. We don't even need him. I think he should be left at home. I think he should be actually sitting between DK and Zardes on that couch. So I leave him at home. What says you, Nate, about me leaving Morris at home?
Jordan Morris, age 27, with 23 matches, 7 goals, 1 assist. Sorry, buddy. Hand me an espresso while we watch the game together. Because you are sitting at home with me, my friend. Now, here's my thing. And just real quick on this. I have a general philosophy with all players in all positions going into this World Cup cycle. And at 27, I do not believe that Jordan Morrison will be around for the next one. And same with Zardes. And unless you're a super performer at your position, you're out. Could there be a potential spot for him if we need a tweener or a winger? Sure, maybe. As a 9, sorry, buddy.
You're out.
You're out.
All right. All right. Brooks looks like he's about to disagree with us.
Fuck your MLS, Brooks.
Yeah.
Where is he? Is he on the bubble or is he on the plane for you?
We're not there yet. So he's on the other two lists. We're not going to reveal things yet.
You want to say you just disagree?
What?
You just disagree?
I disagree that he's not staying home.
He's not staying home.
But we don't know
Okay.
if he's on the
All right.
bubble.
Can I ask
All right.
you? Can I ask you why he's not staying home yet, or do you want to wait? You want
I'm
to
gonna
wait?
wait.
You can wait. Okay,
All right, wait. You can wait. All right. All right, Nate, I think we're back to you for out. Who's going to be out and on the couch?
Last but not least, similar to Daryl DK, Mr. Jeff Hoppe.
Matthew Hoppe.
Matthew Hoppe. Jeff Hoppe is the guy I work with. Age 21. Again, 2 matches, 0 goals, 0 assists. And he's running into the same issue as Daryl Dickey. I think he's a good player. I think he'll be good in the future, but he's just not performing now. And with time limited, time's not on his side, and past performances as well aren't really on his side. So sorry, dude. You're sitting home with Jordan Morrison and Brooks because he's wrong about Jordan Morrison, and there you go.
Okay.
Jordan Morris, by the way. And he plays for your Seattle Sounders,
Don't
you
give a
love. Come on.
All right, Brooks, where are you on Hoppe?
Yes, he's out. He's right now for me.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there are rumors of him going different places and everything. He showed well when he had chances, but I think it's not his time yet. He needs people to kind of roll out a little bit.
Okay.
I honestly think he could be a 9, but he's kind of a tweener for me that can actually play at a wing spot too.
Yep, understood. I think he's a bit of a tweener as well. He's very young. He has not performed up to his potential, but he is not in the out list for me. I do not have him on that list. I have him in another list. So yes. Yeah, as we all.
Okay. Moving on.
That's our 4, right?
Moving on.
Let's go to the bubble.
Let's go to the bubble.
3 we have on the bubble, right?
We have 3 on the bubble.
All right, Brooks, I believe you are up next. Who is on? Give us a name for the bubble.
Okay. For me, I have Brandon Vasquez from FC Cincy.
Okay. All right.
It's too late in the game. It's too late in the game to get him in there. to get him with the friendly, because you need the squad. You need them to play the friendlies together to get prepared for the World Cup.
There's friendlies coming up.
No, but it's too late. Like, you need to know. Like, the November is the time where you got to figure out your squad. The guys that have already been in the camp should be the ones you're picking from. You shouldn't be bringing new people in unless they're huge difference makers, which I don't think Brandon Vasquez is. So it's one good year he's had.
So he's on your bubble. He's on your bubble.
Exactly.
He's your first player on the bubble.
Yes.
Okay. For me, Vasquez is on my out list. He is on the couch because he has not made any appearances for the U.S. men's national team so far. He does not know the education and the system they want to play or the tactics they want to play in the U.S. men's national team. He does not know any of the setup. He's had one good year. He's having one good year. That's great. But he, for me, gets left behind because he doesn't know any of the tactics and hasn't got up to speed with anything. And we are coming up. We are less than 90 days away from a World Cup. I do not want to bring him along. I think it's a very valuable spot. So for me, he is on my out list. I'm not even on the bubble list. Nate?
I had him on my bubble, and I don't think it's too late. And I don't think it's too late until you pick your players. And I think his performance at being 23, 16 goals and 4 assists with 26 matches has earned him maybe a call-up to see how he does in one of the friendlies. What could it hurt? Especially if you already know, and this is just theory and philosophy, if there's someone who you already know is kind of on that spot, why not call, or in a spot, why not call him in and give a run out and just see what you got, see if he's worth it. It couldn't hurt you. I think especially this far out, and especially with one of the other upcoming friendlies, and that's why he's on my bubble.
So I think with him, size is the biggest difference he brings because his height and his build. Whereas DK is not as tall as him, but he's got really strong build.
Sure.
I think that's the difference of all the striker group we're looking at here.
I'll
10.
I'll agree.
That is different. But does he do anything better than some of the other ones we may have in our ins and on the bubbles? I don't think so at the moment because of the one good year he's only had. And he's been I wouldn't say he's a failure when Atlanta United brought him in and he came up through academy system, but he didn't show much when he had chances. But obviously you're sitting behind one of the best strikers in MLS for a while. I can't think of his name.
You talking about Joseph Martinez?
Martinez, yeah. Joseph Martinez. I mean, you weren't going to play much, That's tough.
I think because of his height, I think because of his performance this year, because he adds something different, that's why you bring him in.
I will say the one thing I agree with that you both said is bring him in and give him a shot. There are friendlies. So see if he grasps the system. But again, he probably doesn't know the dynamic of the players. Doesn't know the dynamic.
That's why he's not my in. That's why he's a bubble.
That's why he's a bubble. That's why he's a bubble. For me, there's other players who I think.
Say you bring him in and say he performs and stands out and warrants it. You go, this guy adds something different.
And I'm completely okay with that. But I had a little bit of a different perspective on it. So Brooks,
I went.
All right, now it is my. Is it my turn now?
Bubble.
Yes.
All right, one of my bubble players. Matthew Hoppe. I think he's a bubble player for me. I think he brings something a little different. He's a little bit of a tweener as well. He can play in different positions. He can drop into the midfield. I think he's a little bit of a difference maker when he wants to be. I like the fact that when he played over the summer, he brought something a little different. I like his competitive spirit and nature that he brings. Is he on the plane for me? No, he's bubble. And that's going to depend on how he does in the next couple of months. And I'm sure he'll be in some of the squads for the friendlies the U.S. men's national team is going to play. So a lot's going to depend on that for me. So bubble player. That's all I got.
We had him as out.
He was on your out list. He was both
They're
on your out list as we kind of talked earlier.
Yep.
So yeah, for me, bubble. All right, Nate.
I'm going to go with my controversial bubble.
Let's go. Let's see what you got.
Always.
The player that everyone deemed the golden child about a year ago. Sorry, Pepe, you're just not doing it for me. You're bubble / Ricardo Pepe, you're bubble / almost not there.
What says you, Brooks, on that?
No, I disagree. I disagree.
He hasn't performed since his breakout. He can't find starting minutes in Augsburg. And if we're going with, hey, you're 19, you're struggling, then we're gonna throw you in a World Cup or put you on a plane for that. I'm sorry. I think unless he dramatically improves, unless he has a good outing in one of these friendlies or somehow starts improving, you're staying home. And you know what? It doesn't mean that you won't be just like Hoppy, just like Daryl DK. Doesn't mean you won't be there in the future. Just means that you're just not good enough right now.
So I say because of the moments he's had in CONCACAF qualifying by scoring big goals coming off the bench late,
He did that.
he may not start, but it's an option that Berhalter can have off the bench that he can get in the box. He's willing to get up there and win some headers, play him into the box and score goals inside the box as well as come down and find the game.
So he's one of your 3 in.
I want to. He's on the plane for you.
He's on the plane.
He's on the
for
plane.
me.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I will
Can't wait
agree
to
with
see
you.
you
I will
say
agree
more.
with you about some of the things you said there, Brooks. As in, he did very well in CONCACAF qualifying. He's done very well when he's played for the U.S. national team.
2 games.
Hold tight. I will say he has done very well. He is a player that is unique. He holds up the ball. He lays off the ball well. He finds a way to get on the ball. For me, I'm in actually Nate's camp with this. He's on a bubble. He is not on the plane with me because he's made 1 start for Augsburg this season. And in that start, he was pulled in the 56th minute. He hasn't done anything. So
and I have another player that does all the same stuff.
He is a bubble player. He's a bubble player.
My thing for me, though, is if it wasn't an expanded World Cup roster as it was this year, he would not be in my...
But you're only taking 3 forwards, so that means one of these guys are sitting home, and I got a guy who does the same stuff and more consistent.
But I know we're arguing forwards right now, but my argument for the front players that the U.S. national team has is they don't have a true center forward.
You could.
They have a bunch of wingers and guys that play false nines, in my opinion.
Okay.
And he doesn't fit into. He doesn't fit
They have
into.
a lot
He's
of
definitely not a
versatility.
false 9.
And
He
he's
cannot play the false 9.
definitely not a winger. He's definitely not a winger.
He cannot play wing.
So
he
he's-
is your target man. That's all he does. He's your target man. And Brooks,
But they're not true
I agree
legitimate
with you.
forwards, though.
I like him. I think he plays when he plays for the U.S. national or has played for the U.S. men's national team. He's played very well, even in the games where he hasn't scored. Even in the games where he hasn't scored. We went to several games this past year. And he did very well as a hold-up player. He did very well with the runs he made and the layoffs. I like him. I think he's a very good player.
Yes.
But he needs to play consistently.
has
When
nothing to
games
do with
cannot be found sometimes and forwards don't come back in the midfield to find the game a little bit, I think and they're just running in behind and everyone's trying to clip balls over behind and everyone's reading the game. You need a center forward that can come down and do that.
Yeah.
So
And he doesn't do it for his current club.
I
And he did
agreed.
Shitty.
I think Berhalter trusts him, you know? And he did it for
Berhalter
FCA.
definitely
And you
trusts
know
him.
what? He trusts other players, and that's why Joel Scully is finding it hard to find the field. But
Joe Scally,
Scally, whatever.
Come on.
And that's why we have goalkeepers that will play starting minutes that are then out there. It's the same logic. You're not playing starting.
Hey,
All right.
Stephen Fry deserves to be a
Stephen
third string
Fry.
goalkeeper.
Sure, but you
God.
can't use your Stephen Fry argument now and then say, but it's okay for Pepe to fucking sit the bench.
All right,
Anyway,
so
moving on.
I think Nate and I are on the table with Bubble. We are
He's a
Bubble
Bubble.
Pepe. Ricardo Pepe. Brooks has him on the plane. And completely
Hey,
fair.
you know
We're all
what?
going to have disagreements. We're all going to
You
be...
know what? He shows up for the friendly and proves me wrong. Fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Put him on the plane.
Fine. Then he's on-
Absolutely.
then he's on the plane.
All right, so who's up next? Is that you? All right, give us a bubble.
Yes. So the bubble for me, I have Josh Sargent.
Ooh.
So-
I don't have him as a bubble.
Ooh.
So for me, it's a little too late for him to find quality and consistency with Norwich. I think if that was there last
Wait,
year...
hold on. We're going to have a learning session for all Americans. I know there's a W in the word
Sorry, Norwich.
Norwich.
Yes.
Norwich. It's not Norwich. It's Norwich. Pretend the W is silent. Norwich.
Yeah, got
Norwich.
it. Norwich. Got it. Moving on. Norwich. Okay, got it.
Typical
got it.
American. Thank you. Onwards. Continue.
No, it's
Sorry.
not
Keep
typical
going.
American. Nate cannot pronounce any words, as Brooks to my left has been telling me the whole time. Every time
This
I
is
get a
absolutely
fucking name
true.
wrong. So
All right. Continue on with Sergeant Brooks.
It's a little too late for me. Like, he's showing quality.
I see that.
But it's
see that.
if it was something at the end of the season
I see that.
with when he was in the EPL and he was having, he was hustling and pressing.
Yep.
And he was trying to find, but it's the championship is a very good level, and it's better than some other top levels, like top leagues in the world. Like let's not deny that. But for me, it's just like you're too far out of the game at this point. But that's why I think as a bubble, maybe you bring him in. Maybe he's in that when they play games in Germany. He's in there and they get some friendly. But for me, he is just missing it.
I get
All
your
right,
point.
for me, Josh Sargent is on the plane.
Same here.
He's scored 4 goals in his last 3 games. He can play up top as a target. He can play out wide.
And he was good in the past too.
Yep, he plays in the championship, which, as you said, is not quite EPL, but it is a very, very good level. And it is a different level.
To be honest with you.
For me, Josh Sargent needs to be on the plane. I think he is a difference maker. I love his competitive spirit. I love that he goes for everything.
The friendlies he shit the bed in, he was playing wide.
Yep, absolutely.
I just don't think he offered.
I see it, but you know what? I do see your point, Brooks. I really do see your point where it goes into that camp of it's nice you're doing it now, but a little late. So I do understand where he's coming from. I had him in as well, but I do see where Brooks is coming from. Where it's
if we were to guess what Greg Berhalter's in bubble and out is, I'm personally going to guess that Josh Sargent is in his bubble.
Sure.
And Nate and I are saying the championship is a great league. He's done so well. He can play in a variety of positions. But what has he done for U.S. men's national team in the last 2 years? Probably not enough to cement a ticket into Qatar with the U.S. men's national team. But my guess is he's on the bubble for Greg Berhalter.
Yeah.
For me, he's in. Nate, he's on your plane.
I had him in.
Both of us are the same.
But I see what Brooks' point is.
Yeah,
And
we
I
can
do
see
agree
that.
with Brooks' point actually here. And he does have a very valid point there where, it's a little late, but and then that's why I had him in there because of his performance as a recent.
Okay. I mean that's fair.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay.
I got 2 more ends and 1 more bubble,
That's for
baby.
sure.
All right, so I
Two
think
bubbles I would take Sargent over Vasquez in my opinion. Better league, better competition.
I would take Sargent over Vasquez, and that's actually why I had him in though, is because of the league he was playing in, the performance he's putting in that league.
Yeah.
sure.
That was a key. That is, and I think that is a very critical factor as well.
All right, so Nate, I think you're up next. Is it with
My last bubble.
bubble?
My
Yeah,
last
give us your bubble. Give us your last bubble.
Is that Holole Wright? He is a bubble player for me. I thought
Haji Wright.
Holaji.
At some point, we're gonna have to teach him how to read and speak. But he's getting there.
Why can't I have a name like Joe Smith? Anyway,
Yeah, exactly. Haji Wright.
4 matches, 5 goals. Fits in my barometer of young player. Could be around for next cycle as well. He's done decent when he was out. So for me, he's a strong bubble player. Get him in the next camp, see if he outperforms some of the other bubble players, and maybe move him to an in.
All right, so Haji Wright on your bubble list.
Haji Wright is definitely a bubble for me. Yeah.
All right, Brooks, where are you at in Haji Wright?
He was an out for me.
You had him as
on
out.
the couch.
Wow.
You had him as out.
He's on the couch.
You had him as on the
He's
couch.
had so many opportunities in other times with the younger teams. He's never been called into the 23s. Not. He wasn't for World Cup call. I'm just saying and maybe he wasn't of the age for when they were trying to qualify for.
At 24, your career's done.
Oh, it's
Done.
not that you're
All right,
done.
all
but,
right.
You should have took that
I
U9
think
game seriously, buddy.
He's had injury issues too, I believe.
Yes, he has.
So
He's my bubble.
Nate's got him as a bubble. Brooks, you've got him as out.
Yes.
I've got him as not out. I've got him as not on the bubble.
Oh, this is interesting.
So I want him on the plane. I want him on the plane. He finished the 21-22 season with 9 goals in his last 10 games. He started the 22-23 season with 5 goals in 4 games, and he added 2 more in the last game he played. I think he is scoring goals right now. His confidence is up. I would love to see him on the plane. I think he. Again, I think what needs to happen, though, is he needs to get into these friendlies that are coming up to the U.S. men's national team, and we'll see how he performs there.
If you're saying that's more of a bubble play, if you're saying
No. I want him on the plane. If it's right now, you tell me I need 3 players, he's on the plane for me.
Okay.
But coming up, since we do have just shy of 3 months, I would love to see him get some starts in those friendlies and to see how he does. But based on his recent performance in the last, we'll say 6, 7, 8 months, he's putting balls in the back of the net.
Yeah.
He's got confidence. He's in form. Get him into the squad. Get him on the plane. Because going into a World Cup, if you've got a guy who's scoring goals in his league and has confidence, playing well, get him in. Let's go.
See, I look at it
do
this
it.
way, like the Freddie Adu effect sometimes, where Freddie Adu was terrible with his club, but he always somehow found a way to perform with the national team.
Yeah.
There are a lot of players like that.
Yeah, Luka Podolski. There's many players that are like that never really find form,
Yeah.
but are amazing for their club. So
So that's why I don't always agree if you're scoring goals in the league in your club team that it's always going to translate to the national
to a
team.
point,
Yeah.
because my one of my ends.
Are we going to the ends now? Are we in the ends?
I'm in the ends.
I think we're going with the
we are more
ends.
bubbles.
I think we're going with the ends. Do you?
I disagree.
You know what?
I
I think what we'll start off.
Yeah.
I'll let you know my first in. I think you're both going to agree with it based on where this has been going. We've got one, Mr. Jordan Pifak.
No. No.
You do not have him as in.
He's on my bubble.
He's on your bubble.
on
Okay,
my
hold
bubble.
on. Let's talk about this. Jordan Pifak in with Union Berlin. In the last game, 72 minutes, 2 assists, 1 shot, 73% passing, 4 chances created, 15 touches, and he had on FOTMOB, he had an 8.3 rating. I think he's been scoring goals. He's been doing really well. For me, I know in the last couple of games, the U.S. men's national team, his confidence waned. He missed an easy opportunity. We all fucking slagged him off in comments, and we all said, what is this guy doing? He could have won that game in qualifying for us. I know. But he is playing very well in a very good league. I want to see him on the plane. He is in for me.
And you forgot that he was the Golden Boot last year for the league that he came.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
you made a case for Pepe saying, "No, you need to come back and create play." Pifak does that, and does that as a starter for a team playing in a top league. And if you watch
Yes.
his assists, he was getting murdered. He's been smoked twice. Giving like literally holding the ball up, getting smoked by 2-3 defenders as he passes it off for someone else to score. I think Pifak. I think this team would be doing honestly. Not he's my in. Is he a starter? I don't know. Can he provide something to the team? 100%. And I think they'd be doing themselves a disservice to leave him home. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay. So you've got
I
it.
watched him with the national. It's not enough for me.
Right.
And again, to be fair, have I watched a lot with Union Berlin? I have not. I've only what you've told us, and I'm happy that he's performing.
He's the same player as Pepe, but bigger and stronger.
Okay.
And
Fair enough, because Pepe got to put on weight.
So the
Pepe's
reason-
got to put some muscle on.
You got to put
He's
muscle on.
gotta
He
learn.
has to. He
Exactly.
has
So the
to.
reasons you like Pepe, and that's my point. If I'm choosing between these two guys right now today, I'm going to choose Pifak over Pepe, just because he's the same type of player that you're talking about,
Fair.
but he actually does the job.
Who are both playing in the same league
he's
right
playing in
now.
the
One
same league.
starts every game, and one can't get off the bench except for one game, and then he was subbed in the 56th
And
minute.
Union's a better team.
Absolutely.
So he's starting for a better team
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
Osberg, who was struggling, and when they were really struggling for goals, they weren't pulling in Pepe.
Right.
They were pulling in other players. So
Agreed, 100%. Absolutely. All right, onwards. I think, Nate, why don't you give us one who is on the plane? Give us a player.
I'm going to take my pass because I only got one more player left. I'm going to
Okay.
give it to Brooks.
All right, we'll give it to Brooks.
I
Brooks.
don't want to mess with the name and have him make fun of me again. So I'm going to leave it Brooks. I'm going to give you an in. Go ahead.
So obviously we know the one. So are we going to play process of elimination, or are we going to all read off all our three?
Well,
What's the last guy left for you?
Ferrero?
Yeah.
Jesus Ferrer.
And is he in?
Yes, he's in for me.
I've got him on bubble.
Really?
Fuck you.
I have
He's
him
in
on
for
bubble.
me.
I think
He
I have-
put in a hat trick the last game he is. He's 28 games, 15 goals, 5 assists. He scored a hat trick, right?
He's supposed to be a goal scorer. He's got 28 games and 15 goals.
sure, fair enough.
Good, not great. I think the other players bring
I think-
more of a dynamic, and I would like to see him. He's on my bubble. He's got a chance.
Okay, fair.
He's on a
fair.
bubble.
I like him because
Not fair.
you can let him roam a bit. He doesn't have to stay central.
Sure.
He can roam. He can come down and find the
Sure.
game. Now, the one knock everyone's going to have against him is where was he when they were trying to qualify for the Olympics?
Yes.
Because he was abysmal during the Olympic qualifying. It
Yes.
was not good, and
Okay.
people thought he was going to come in and change stuff.
He was terrible. Abysmal,
bad.
terrible. He was it during
He didn't do
qualifying. He
much.
was not
The
good.
first game he did some stuff.
You know, he didn't play really well as a U12 either. So, yeah, I definitely think he should be out. So,
Irrelevant.
But for me, though, is I think the form he is on right now and what we're
Well,
seeing
he
is
went through a
fighting-
big slump this summer, and just because he scored 3 goals in the last match,
I understand.
doesn't mean he's
but
out of that
He's
slump
up there
yet.
with one of the top goal scorers in the league.
2020 till now
okay.
for U.S. men's national team, 13 games, 7 goals.
That's not bad.
Wasn't there a hat trick in there somewhere against someone?
Yeah.
Who was that against?
Well, let me.
Yeah. Break that down. Continue, Brooks.
But for me, though, like I think he offers.
Grenada? He scored
Thank
4 goals.
you.
He scored 4 actually.
Thank you.
But for me, he offers a lot of different things.
Sure,
He can
sure.
come down again.
Yeah.
You need a striker that won't just sit on the back line because of all the movement you're going to
Sure.
have in Berhalter's system and the outside backs getting forward.
And it absolutely depends on who we're playing in the system
like
we
a
play,
second
right?
10,
He's a completely different player
Yes.
from a Ricardo Pepi who sits on that back player and wants to be the hold up player. And I don't think Ferreira is that. So
No.
he's a bubble player for me.
Okay.
I'm not saying not going. I do like Jesus Ferreira. I think he's a good player. He's a very good MLS player.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure I clarify. 15 goals in 28 games is a very good tally.
Yes.
It is a very good tally. For me, though, my in players are Pifak, Haji Wright, and Josh Sargent, who I think bring us something a little
Okay.
bit different.
All right.
So that's for me. So I think that was the last player that all of us had not talked about.
I'll read our 3 in, don't
Yeah,
we?
so
Mine
that's
was-
my threes: Pifak, Wright, and Sargent.
Who starts? Okay, so the 3.
those are the players,
If
yeah.
we're starting the World Cup against or Wales is the first match, right? Who are they going in against? Who's the 9 that's going to start?
Ooh, that's a.
So once we pick our 3 and we say our 3, let's see who we think are gonna is.
Okay, yeah,
start.
Brooks, Nate, why don't you go since we've been going clockwise in the room here? Nate,
My
why don't you give us
3
your 3?
My 3 was Pifak, Sargent, and Ferreira.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Well, we agree on one at least.
Yeah, you and I had Ferreira and Wright, Haji Wright switched. Brooks, go ahead. Who's your
Did you
3?
read from 1 to 3?
No, that was just random.
Or
Just random.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
just random. I did
for
random
me,
as well.
Ferreira,
Yep.
Jordan Morris, Ricardo Pepi.
We are all way. Woo! Brooks. You're in left field, my friend.
I think he's probably right. Compared, like I could see Berhalter picking those 3 and leaving a whole bunch of players that are much better at home. So he's probably got Berhalter.
Are we talking about who we think Greg Berhalter is going to take, or who we would take? Because I think I picked who I would take, not
this
who I
is who
think.
I would take.
I would
I
go
don't
with
give a fuck
Brooks's
about
and who
Berhalter.
Greg Berhalter. You and Greg Berhalter must have like this connection.
Text
I
chain
think
or
you both
something.
are taking the same players there.
I mean, I would take those 3 in my opinion. That's partially what I would take, but also thinking. So, do we want to explain? Let me quickly explain why I picked
for it.
those 3. So, Ferreira is always is the one I'm
for
explaining.
Morris to fucking get injured midway through the.
Listen, I watched Seattle Portland this weekend. I've watched Jordan come back from his injuries. I mean,
For now.
guaranteed he's done 2 ACLs, but he still coming back has not looked like he's lost a step. With Jordan Morris and what he's done since he's been playing with the national team program, when he played at Stanford and he had to play the 23s and the first team, and then he's been getting in and out of the national team since he's been with Seattle. I think with him, if he is the one guy that's versatile for me, that has a body and frame that can hold the ball up, he can battle with big center backs like a Van Dijk or someone if he needs to. He may not win everything. But
he can at least battle.
Yes, he can hold the ball up. You can play off
I
of
get
him.
that. I get
and
that.
you can run him behind, and he's good in the air.
Sure.
He gives you a lot of versatility, and that's why for me, and he can roam. He can play out wide. He can play in the pocket. So that's for me is why you take him. And then we all know Pepe. We've talked about.
We've talked about
So
that.
That is why.
Yep.
So should I say who I think starts for them?
So you're taking primarily a left winger as your central forward. Good job, Brooks.
I think he's right-footed, and he can play on both sides.
He
He can
can.
pretty much
Oh,
play
so-
all 3 front positions.
Good.
And this past weekend against Portland in the 3-5-2 that Seattle played, he was right next to Rui Diaz. All right,
All right.
Rui
Good
Diaz-
case.
wait,
Good
Rui
case.
Diaz plays what now?
center forward.
Oh, okay.
So can Jordan Morris.
So can he? So can I mean with that logic? So can Christian Pulisic?
You can put him as a forward if you really wanted to.
All right. Onwards for a little bit here. All right, Nate, you've named your three,
So,
or are we waiting on?
I have
you
no
there?
problem with Morris. I think if we were talking wingers, he would probably be in that winger spot for those reasons.
Sure.
That he could play to left and right, but as a pure 9, I'm not going to put him as a pure 9, so he's sitting home for me.
So I think he might get kicked out as a winger. That's my theory.
I think,
Absolutely.
I think he's a good off the bench player as a winger somewhere in there
Fair
because he
enough.
adds something to you to that.
Yes.
I like P-Falk, I like Ferreira, and I like Sargent. Who's going to start? That is a damn good question. I'm second guessing my Ferreira pick heavily. Now that I have it, I almost want to put Pepe back in there. Here's the thing.
Did I convince you?
You made such a case to
did.
not have him in there.
Yeah.
You did such a good job. I think you
here's-
had me on that.
Yeah, so I still think Pepe has a lot to offer. I still don't think he's ready. I think P-Falk, it's either now or never. And I'd rather bring him in because I think he can offer you something. And I think Ferreira at 21 and I think Sargent at 24 will be there for you down the stretch. So that's my big thing with this World Cup is let's prepare ourselves for next year. And that's why Zardes is
2026, the next World Cup. Correct. I think we all knew what you were talking about there.
Or
Yeah.
America,
But
yeah.
that's why Zardes misses. That's why I'm almost like Morris. Sorry, I don't think you're gonna make it to this plane because
Yep.
at your age and your
100%
your
agree.
age, you're gone.
Yep.
Who starts? Oh, I mean that's a good question. It depends on who works best in the system with the players around them. Based on performance right now, I'd have a hard time. Performance right now and what I know, I'd have a hard time sitting P-Falk.
100% agree. He starts, and second, if he's not in quite in good enough form or injured in any way, I go Josh Sargent, based on the way he's been playing, the way he's been putting the ball in the back of the net for Norwich, for me. So if we start, game 1 of World Cup tomorrow, it's P-Falk 1, and if he can't go, Sargent 2. Brooks, who's starting for you?
Morris.
Jordan Morris.
Yeah.
Who for me is sitting at home watching.
For all the explanations, for everything I explained, that's why I want him starting. And then for me, the second guy off the bench is Ferreira.
All right. Well, boys, very good debate. I think we can, over the next couple of months, because we said we've got a little less than 90 days now to the start of the World Cup, I think we can continue this argument with people who are getting injured, new players who are in form and putting the ball in the back of the net. Very good debate. That was really enjoyable. I didn't know if we were going to get how much enjoyment that was going to be, but it was really good. I do want to quickly, something that happened this past week, I want to jump in and talk about the Champions League groups were pulled. Nate, do you want to talk about Champions League?
We are the champions, full of Bundesliga teams. Yeah, let's go, baby. Love me some Champions League. Love me some group stages. Can we do Europa too? Because we have a bunch of, we have a bunch of German teams in that one as well.
And a bunch of Americans playing
So
for both.
Yeah. So which group do you want to start with first? The A. Should we go in alphabetical
Yes,
order?
let's start with A as I load up the picture here.
I'll read them off.
Apparently-
Yeah. The
Apparently
Ajax,
did not load.
Tan Hag Junior's Army, Ajax, Liverpool, Rangers, and Napoli is in that group. And Ajax is at top of the group stage right now because they're so awesome.
Oh yeah, this is the one I spelled MLS with everything in our group chat.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my word.
So-
Okay. All right. Let's jump in and talk about the. Let's talk about the.
This is a small
We got
competition,
Group
by
A.
the
We got
way, too.
Ajax, Liverpool, Napoli, and Rangers. Obviously, I think for me, Ajax and Liverpool might come out of that group. If 2 comes out,
I would
right?
expect
Liverpool is going to be your top team out of there. They got put into this group because.
Oh, wait. I thought Liverpool was struggling and weren't that good.
Oh, they're not in form right now. They're definitely not in form.
With the
They-
9 goals, but, when
they won
United
their-
beat them, they're not in form, but okay, they're going to
They
be
won
number
9-0
one in their
this
group.
weekend.
Okay, got it.
They're not in form. It took them a while to get into form. But by the time Champions League comes around, they will be. Ajax do what Ajax always do. Napoli, don't underestimate Napoli and Rangers, though. They always bring it strong. Group B, Porto, Atletico, Leverkusen, Club Brugge. For me, Group B is probably the weakest group in here.
And that's why I think Leverkusen can get out of it.
They absolutely can, and I think Atletico and Leverkusen are the ones who get out of that group.
Yeah.
I think Porto and Club Brugge go down.
Honestly, it's going to be Atletico is going to win that group. Period.
Yeah,
Full
absolutely.
stop.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
going to come down to Porto and Leverkusen. If Leverkusen can play like they played today, they'll be fine. If Leverkusen is going to play like how they played the 5 other matches, then it's going to be Porto that comes out of that group.
Yep.
This is the group of death, Group C.
Yeah, Group C, Group of Death, absolutely. Bayern, who are playing very well, have won all games except for this weekend where they tied, as we talked about earlier. Came up against a Gladbach team that was just on their game.
We're all in agreement that that Barcelona is not making it out of this group, right? Because they're not beating Bayern.
I mean,
what's going to happen is they're going to be a game. You didn't register your players,
Yeah,
so you have to forfeit.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
There's been a lot of being said about Bayern and Barca being drawn together because of Lewandowski going to Barca
never,
from
ever.
Bayern. And
Thomas Wheeler's like, let's go.
conspiracy theory they
Never
had.
ever in the history of sports would
Yeah.
any type of thing like that happen, Craig. How dare you?
I
How
know.
dare
No
you.
conspiracy.
No way.
But absolutely the group of death here. Barca will bring it. They do. I mean, they
think
won
it's-
today easily 4-0. They could get out of this group with Bayern. Inter might.
I think Inter's the odd
Might
group out.
they could disrupt and make it really tough for one of those teams, though. I think, in my opinion, all of us are going to agree that Bayern are probably one of the top 2 or 3 teams, if not the best team in this
I think it's
competition.
Barca and Bayern that coming out of this. I
Yep.
don't know which one. I think Bayern probably finishes first, but we'll see.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Inter's going to struggle along. I don't think they can keep up with the speed of both teams.
Agreed. Group E: Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg, and Dynamo Zagreb.
This is the second weakest group, by the way. Like,
Absolutely, Chelsea and Milan probably get out of here. Don't underestimate Salzburg and Dynamo Zagreb. It's a tough place to go and play, so they could throw a wrench into the works there.
Are they
But
going to have any home games? Because
did
Russia.
we, wait, hold on. We skipped over D, dude.
Oh, yeah.
E, C, E. What about D? D. Frankfurt, Martial.
oh, you're right. Hold on,
sorry,
hold
that's where I
on,
got
hold on.
confused.
You are right. I locked the image. You're right. Sorry. Woo.
It's going to be so it's Frankfurt, Marseille.
Let me get it all on the screen here.
I'm correct that Zagreb's in Russia, right?
Sorry,
Zagreb
Okay.
is
Or is
No,
that
it
in
is not.
Croatia?
Croatia.
Oh, I'm a moron.
Let's go back to Group D. Sorry, Frankfurt, Tottenham, Sporting,
Good point.
Sporting, and Marseille. Tottenham with Conte this year, they could get out. I think
Tottenham
they may.
100% is getting out of this group.
Yeah,
Come on, that's ridiculous.
and then who are you going to go? Is it Marseille are always a good team, but most likely Frankfurt.
I think again, if Frankfurt plays like how they played here this week, they will, and how they won the Europa, they have a chance.
Yep.
If not, I think it's open between those three, between Frankfurt, Marseille, and Sporting. And don't discount Sporting. As soon as they sign Ronaldo, they'll be doing fine.
Oh boy! Oh boy! All right, now on to Group E: Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg, and Dynamo Zagreb. Excuse me. Milan and Chelsea probably getting out of that
I think
group.
Milan.
That is.
I think Zlatan and Chelsea are getting out of the group. Yes.
Yep.
We're just going Milan Zlatan.
yeah.
That's what we're just going to call him, right?
Group F: Real Madrid, Leipzig, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Celtic. Celtic could throw. I mean, it's a tough place to go.
Always, yeah.
So that they could throw a little bit of a
Where are
spanner
they
in the works
playing?
there.
Where are they playing the Shakhtar games at? Are they actually going to play it in Ukraine?
Oh, that's a good point.
So
So
Shakhtar
I
Donetsk
did- I did read
is
that-
a Ukrainian team.
I did read that the Ukrainian, is it the Premier League or?
Yeah, they started.
They did. They're
They
actually
have
playing
bomb
games
shelters.
in Ukraine.
Yeah, but what team is going to
I know,
travel?
exactly.
What Real Madrid?
Exactly.
I highly doubt Real Madrid, Leipzig, or Celtic are going to travel to.
I'm gonna guess neutral locations probably.
They
for
got
them.
to. So that is going to put them at a great disadvantage because I don't see there any way, and I don't know the reports about this or haven't seen it.
Sure.
But
Yeah, I'm
there's
surprised
no
you guys
way
hasn't
that
come
these
out
teams
with
are
that.
going to fly into a country under siege right now.
I agree.
I don't think.
I
Agreed. That's something we'll have to explore a little bit more. But I think we're all on the same page. Real Madrid and Leipzig get out of this. Out of this group, right?
Like, so
Absolutely.
how many farm league shitty teams do we have coming out of this group now?
Not
We're on
league.
two?
That's our third, I
We're on
think.
2 to 3. Okay.
We're on,
okay. Here we go, baby.
That's actually just two: Leverkusen and Leipzig.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then
Frankfurt.
it's 3.
We said Frankfurt. That's three.
No. Munich, Leverkusen, Leipzig. That's 3. Frankfurt's
Four.
That's 3.
Four.
Frankfurt's a weird bubble where it could go either way.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Group G: Man City, Sevilla, Dortmund, and Copenhagen. Man City obviously getting out of there.
Yep.
I think it's between
I want to say
Sevilla and
Dortmund. Yes, between Sevilla and Dortmund for sure.
I'm
Dortmund get their
sorry.
shit together.
Hold on. How many groups are there now?
I don't
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's
8.
8 groups, and we have how many German teams getting out of there that we're pretty sure of?
I don't think any of us are arguing that it's a farm league.
Nate's confused. Everyone told me the Bundesliga was shit.
I didn't say that.
I'm not saying that you said that, kind sir.
You take that up on your own time with those people who
All
said that,
right.
because people here are.
Let's hurry this along. I got like 5 minutes of DCFC
All right,
left.
so Man City and Dortmund get out of there. Group H, we got PSG, Juventus, Benfica, and M Haifa. I don't even know who M Haifa is. Benfica could do some damage, but we all expect PSG and Juventus to advance.
Yeah.
So a lot coming out of this. It's interesting. These groups. This is going to be fun when the Champions League starts in the next couple of months. It's going to be very fun.
And it's compressed and accelerated too, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely, because of World Cup.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It's very compressed. We have not done any MLS roundup yet. We've got a lot to get to. Something I do want to quickly, before we leave, I do want to make sure I call out some folks in the We Are Soccer Facebook group. These guys have been doing an awesome job and contributing every single day with posts and comments and likes and shares. So D. Junior Hobley, Dave Heapstreet, Kirk Johnson, Adam Smale, Holy Diver, yes, Holy Diver, Mike Baladarata, and Josh Reham. Thank you guys. Very much appreciate the love that you guys bring to the We Are Soccer Facebook group. And a lot of other We Are Soccer social channels that we have. Those guys bring it every day. They post things as it happens. They comment. They're very helpful. People who I don't know very well in real life, but would like to meet because they are awesome. They are and very knowledgeable soccer people, by the way. Nate, I know you just mentioned it, but why don't we quickly talk about the DCFC? I do want to mention that at Keyworth Stadium coming up, Detroit City and Tampa Bay play Saturday, September 17th. Our friends at the MUSL, the Michigan United Soccer League, are helping, and they have cheap tickets on sale for this game.
Guess who's gonna be there?
I'm going to be there too. You're going to be there? That guy who's got 2 thumbs, a lot of muscles, and a Stuttgart shirt on, who is going to be there. That guy, I believe I will also be there. That is going to be a good game. So if you guys are looking for some cheap tickets and looking to have some fun, September 17th, Tampa Bay Rowdies, which is a great team, is going to be at Keyworth playing against
Yeah,
Detroit
too bad
City.
they're going to lose. Anyways.
They're going to lose to Detroit City FC.
Yep.
Absolutely. Detroit City FC played last night down in Charleston, playing against Charleston Battery, and lost. Detroit City won. They won.
3-0.
Charleston Battery
Yes.
lost 3-0.
3-0.
Detroit City scored just.
Yeah. Pato Faz with the brace looked really good.
Did he had 2, right?
He had 2. He had
He
the
scored
brace.
before the social media team of Detroit City could even get the first one up.
Yep.
He scored a second one.
48 minute, 58, and both were off fantastic turn-in strikes actually to seal it in. And it was a very good even match until that happened, and then DCFC pulled away at that point, and the rest was history. They're looking good. They don't own possession, which would be my complaint.
Yeah, agreed. And that's something they haven't done all year. They haven't played that way.
They don't play that way. So you look at their stats, and it doesn't look impressive. It'll be 59% possession for Charleston Battery, right? Looks like they outplayed them. But then you look at shots and shots on target. 18 shots, 7 on target, and it speaks of a different story. And that's just kind of DCFC's game. They play very, very quick, very direct. I'd like to see them hold up a little bit more. I'd like to see them work the ball a little bit more. But you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and just go, 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 I guess is their motto. So, yeah, it's a very entertaining game. I watched it from the comforts of my own house, Craig.
Awesome.
Couldn't make it to the... with all that's going on with the monos and the six and the tournaments and all that.
I'm surprised you found time to watch that game.
I,
7:30 kickoff. That's awesome. I was able to watch quite a bit of it as well. And for those folks who want to watch an away game, Detroit City Clubhouse is open for all away games to do a watch party. It is an excellent atmosphere, and I believe last night they did $2 shots for every goal that was scored by Detroit City. They did shots for $2, which a lot of the folks took advantage of. What an atmosphere. I was not able to be there, but I did see pictures, and I talked to some people who were there. So for all away games, Detroit City, get down to the Detroit City Clubhouse.
That'd be a great place to go once I can start drinking and eating real food again, my friend.
Agreed.
Yes. So I'll kind of segue into like some MSC stuff here, but Robert Kerr was texting me. He said Ukrainian teams like Shakhtar haven't played at home since 2014 when Russia invaded Crimea.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a little
Big
snippet
info from
there.
Robert. Thank you, Robert, for sharing. I mean,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Sure,
Yeah.
because I thought Shakhtar's stadium was still up and running up until last year or so. But
We'll double check that.
I'm
We'll
assuming
double
you looked
check
it
that.
up, and I'm
And
just going off memory.
With that little segue, what we're going to do is we had a little blip on my part earlier, so I apologize there. But we're going to work that out now. We've got the Michigan Soccer Central, and we are Soccer Team of the Week. This week, we have the Chippewa Valley Boys Varsity Soccer Team, who are 2-0-1 to start the season. They're putting the ball in the back of the net, winning games, and doing very well. So congratulations to Chippewa Valley Boys Varsity Soccer Team for the very first Team of the Week from We Are Soccer and Michigan Soccer
First
Central.
of 2022.
First of 2022. This is something we are going to continue every week.
Yeah.
We will have a Team of the Week from Michigan Soccer Central and We Are Soccer every week. If you would like to nominate a team or nominate your team, please hit us up on any of our social channels. Do so by Thursday at noon, and you will be entered into the running. So if your team, and it's not just for winning games. Just because you're winning games and you're putting the ball in the back of the net and having fun, yay. We also want to hear about your team if you're doing things within the community. Tell us what you've done in the community. Tell us about your players. Tell us about your coach, and you'll be entered into the running. Nominate your team before Thursday at noon, and you'll be entered to possibly be the Team of the Week.
Yes. One thing I want to add is the Michigan Soccer Central podcast, which Robert Kerr does host. He has Trevor James on this week from Detroit City FC, so it ties in with the last segment. And
Very
then
well done.
this, and then just to mention last week's podcast, he had Kyle Pearson, senior midfielder at Detroit Catholic Central, played for Michigan Jags, and was a Michigan Wolves MLS Next Academy player. And then he also had first-year head coach Boris Kosteski, I might have pronounced that wrong, of West Bloomfield High School, and he discusses just his first year at West Bloomfield High School coaching the boys team. So
Excellent.
a little bit of that. We're on Spotify. Michigan Soccer Central is on Spotify. Plenty of episodes. Go check it out.
They do a very good podcast. Their
Yes.
podcast is very well done. It's awesome. Please check them out.
Yes.
Check them out and listen to a few of those. Give them a lot of love. They're on all social channels.
Yes.
The Michigan Soccer Central group is an awesome group. They do a lot for the sport of soccer here in the state of Michigan.
Yes.
And Brooks, you had mentioned that that young man who was on the podcast is going to the University of Michigan next year. I believe
Yes.
you
Kyle
went and
Pearson.
watched their game today. Did you not?
I did. Congrats to U of M on the 1-0 victory over the Gonzaga, over University of Gonzaga. So it was a well played match. Nice day for soccer.
Beautiful day for soccer.
Yes. One thing I will mention tomorrow, with our hats in between here, we have a nice game. That's always been a challenge for both squads the past, 10, 15 years, right?
Hell, I remember playing against Notre Dame back in the day, and that's 20 plus years, and those games were always very good.
Yes. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. at DeMartin Stadium, we have Michigan State
Go green.
hosting. Yes, go white. Michigan State hosting the University of Notre Dame. So,
It's a bit early in the season to have such a big marquee matchup, is it not?
It is.
We always used to, from what I remember, it was my last game at Old College Fields for Michigan State was against Notre Dame. It was the last game of the season.
Wow.
So normally they used to play them towards the end of the season, but now it's there's
there's a lot of non-conference games
Okay,
they start from the
interesting.
beginning of the year, and it's on Big Ten or BTN Plus, so the Student U. But Michigan State coming off a 2-1 victory over Army on the 26th on Friday. So
Yeah.
it's a good start for the Spartans. Michigan being 1-1-0, so 1 win, 1 tie, and or 1 loss and no ties. So.
All right. Michigan off to a good start. Hopefully Michigan State can get a victory tomorrow over a very good Notre Dame team.
Yes.
And it would be great from Damon Rensing to get that team off to a good start this year. We're going to need it. I want to see Michigan State do very well. I know, Brooks, you and I have talked, and possibly we'll head up at some point to Dumbarton and watch some of the games up there.
Yes, we'd love and definitely like to do that. It's a great stadium. And actually, all the college soccer venues around the state of Michigan are very good.
Yeah.
Western Michigan, Oakland University, Detroit Mercy, University of Michigan, Michigan State, and even the smaller schools, your Saginaw Valley, your Lawrence Tech, your Madonna. So go out and support your local colleges wherever you guys live. They want the support, and it's good for all the young players to go watch some college soccer.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with college soccer. It's actually great soccer. I mean, that just goes to prove the amount of soccer in the state of Michigan. It's getting better and better. All right, boys. Well, it's 11 o'clock. We've been on for 2 solid hours. I did not expect some of our segments to go that long, but there you go. That's what happens. We got into it. We had some good time. From me and the boys at the kids' table, I think it's time to say goodnight. Check back in next week. Live show again, starting at 9 p.m. every Sunday. We will have a lot more soccer for you at that point. All right, from us at the We Are Soccer table in the studio, cheers.